we call parisara, environment. Okay, they're very interesting. In fact, we keep learning throughout the journey. Once when I was interacting with students in Shimoga, suddenly some thought came to me, some discussion went towards God kind of a thing. Then suddenly I started to interesting this one, the children. Okay, have you seen God? Everybody praise God, but nobody has seen God. Okay. Then to make some interesting course of discussion, I asked them, okay, I will show you God. What do you give me? They were excited. No, what is, tell me, Sarant. Then I told, see, I'll show you God. You just answer me 3 questions. Then they were excited. Okay, yeah. Then my first question was, where is God? Children got excited. Everybody knew answer. Sir, sir. Wherever you see God. Yes, that is true. But then my just one was, in your wisdom today, what is there that is everywhere? Okay. Then simple answer came, sir, everywhere and takshana, gali, neeru, belaku, bhumi, akasha. That is everywhere. Okay, I think we are coming somewhere. I think we are at least deciphering what is God. My second simple question was, how is God? What is his nature, shape? Then again, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ದೇವ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಾರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ he can take any shape, whatever we ನಿರ್ವಿಕಾರ. So yesterday we celebrated him as Ganapati, and then maybe 1 month after we celebrate him as Lakshmi, kind of a thing. Then again I probed them. In your wisdom today, what is there that do not have shape, but takes any shape that you give? Okay. Then again ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಅವ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರು. ಹೌದು ಸರ್, again it is air, water, fire, bhumi, because they don't have any shape. Whatever shape you give, they take. So now for 2 questions of God, same answer is coming. Then third simple, ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು then I probed them with a difficulty. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ ಪುನರಪಿ ಮರಣಂ ಪುನರಪಿ ಜನನಂ ಅದು ಏನ್ ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹುಡ್ತಾನೆ ಸಾಯ್ತಾನೆ. ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹುಡ್ತಾನೆ ಸಾಯ್ತಾನೆ, ಪುನರಪಿ ಜನನ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ, ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ. ಅವಾಗ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದು ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಇತ್ತು, ಹುಡುಗಿ ಒಂದು ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ತಿನ್ನಮ್ಮ ನೀನು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ. ಆ ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಮಗು ತಿಂತು. ದೆನ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಎಲ್ಲೋಯ್ತು? ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಮರಣಂ. ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಯಾರು ಮಗು ತಿಂತಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಹರ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಹರ್ ವೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಒಂದು 10-15 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಬಾಳೆಹಣ್ಣು ಮರಣಂ, ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ಹರ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪುನರಪಿ ಮರಣ ಪುನರಪಿ ಜನನಂ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಮಿನಿಟ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ, ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಫಿನಾಮಿನನ್ that in fact these are simple thoughts which somewhere in the course of our lifetime or course of our modern life it seems we have forgot. Otherwise I think basic ethos of our culture, ನೀವು ಒಂದು 2000 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಜನ ಏನ್ ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಏನೇನೋ ದೈವಿ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು ಅವರು, ಪಂಚಭೂತಗಳಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅವರು. ಗಾಳಿ, ನೀರು, ಬೆಳಕು, ಇದನ್ನೇ ದೇವರು ನಂಬಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪೂಜೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. The point of the matter is nature is natural ecosystem. This is life supporting system. This is ಈ ಪಂಚ ಲೈಫ್ in nature na parisara ಅಂತ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಕರೀರಿ. This is which is the life supporting system. ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಲೈಫ್ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರೋದು, ಅದರಿಂದನೇ ಲೈಫ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಲೈಫ್ ಐಕ್ಯ ಆಗೋದು. If you just think, okay, every minute we breathe air. Without air, life is not there. We consume food, we drink water. See, air, water, fertile soil, light, this is nature, and we are part of nature. We are nothing different from nature. Nature is so important and it is all pervasive. Have we really understood nature properly? Are we living our life in eco-friendly way, or are we something different from nature and then we want to create our own parallel nature? Is it possible? just think, ಈಗ ಪರಿಸರ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇವತ್ತಿಂದಲ್ಲ. I keep on, ನೀವು ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, because all are intellectual people here. If you just see, when is this word pollution really came into existence? Do you think some 300-400 years was there a term called pollution? Never ever. People never, life never knew that there is a term called pollution. Life is not last 200 years old. Life is lakhs of years old. For lakhs of years, life is here on this earth without even knowing what is pollution. Then how did it continue for so many years, lakhs of years, without knowing it? If you really understand how did it manage, it's very interesting. See, life after on this earth, when it came for its journey, it went into some 2-3 principles. One is diversity. Andre, life cannot live in isolation. If there is only one life, it cannot live, it is going to extinct. Life sustained on this earth by 2 principles of diversity. Means the more diverse, the more chances of it becoming survival. Second is some equilibrium, samatolana anta ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. You just see, you see, go to forest or any outside countryside, there are n number of trees. Every life activity produces some waste. Even if you respire, there is some waste. Even if you produce photosynthesis, there is a waste. But see how life has beautifully managed this. When plants photosynthesis, the product is carbohydrate, the waste is oxygen. And now the animal system, for its life, it respire, the intake is oxygen, the output is carbon dioxide. Waste of the plant system is the raw material for animal system. Waste of animal system is raw material for the plant system. Maybe that is why for over lakhs of years, when so many different plants and so many different animals were living on this earth, they maintained a beautiful equilibrium of there is no waste. Waste of one is becoming the raw material for the other. Suppose if the waste of one is not becoming raw material of other, then nature has found out some other solution of getting it decay and decompose so that it becomes part of inanimate nature in another 1 month or 2 months. If something is not eaten by anybody, something is not consumed by something, then when it is on earth, immediately it decomposes into water, air components and heat, which is again Panchabhuta. That means every life process has to have some waste, but then life has to find beautiful ways of managing this waste into resource for something else or into nature, so that at the end of the day there is no waste in nature. That is why nature, we have to learn a lot of things from nature. For our world environment, we kind solution is in nature. We just have to observe it, understand it, and then practice or learn those systems in our life. Now coming back to our modern life, after industrial revolution, yes, human beings cannot now live as old age, stone age people, so we have to have our economic lifestyle. Then we also should understand this economic lifestyle will definitely produce waste more than the rate at which it used to produce. When this waste is produced, whether it can be managed, are we trying to manage? So first of all, we should know we cannot manage unless we measure. There is a beautiful term, unless you measure what is the issue, you will not be able to manage. Now my first question is, are we measuring what is the extent of the problem? Okay, if you know the extent of the problem, then we can manage. Now why it is very important to manage our waste, especially in recent times. So that is why till industrial revolution there is nothing, a term called waste, pollution kind of a thing. And even initial some 100 years or 200 years after industrial revolution, really we did not feel the pinch of it, that yes, it is getting worse. But 21st century is really a century for us to wake up, understand the extent of the problem, and address it suitably. Otherwise, coming maybe 25 50 years will be very difficult for us. Now, even if you're thinking of economics, like our developed modern economy kind of a thing, even here all our life systems and livelihoods essentially depend upon productive services or ecosystem services of nature. Okay, today, even for example, for a COVID, people will tell, if there is first ಏನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ first oxygen ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. Okay, if there is no oxygen, there is no treatment for COVID also today. So I'm just giving one current example, but otherwise majority of our economic activities, majority of our services will essentially depend on natural ecosystem services for our lives and livelihood. I'll explain this with some kind of examples. But any degradation of this ecosystem by our waste products, for example, what are the different wastes? Yeah, I think if we are normal life, sewage is one waste. If you were doing some industry, then effluent is some waste. Till industrial revolution, this earth had only seen sewage waste. So it had found out some solution of, even today, if sewage is real issue, maybe with times, maybe after 1 month, 2 months, even ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಾಸನೆ ಇದ್ರು ಗಲೀಜ್ ಇದ್ರು ಒಂದ್ 2-3 ತಿಂಗಳಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ sunlight, soil, water has capacity to dilute it, degrade it, decompose it, and then get it resolved. But then if the issue is industrial waste, especially chemicals, heavy metals, hazardous wastes, biochemical wastes, when these wastes get into system, then nature finds it very difficult, because these are foreign to nature. These are foreign to nature itself. But these are our contribution to nature. Otherwise, nature had not aware of these things. So when these kind of things come, even there, if nature has some capacity to address them by principles of dilution and gradual decomposition, maybe the rate of decomposition is not as fast as sewage, but the moment if the dilution factor is compromised, the decomposition factor is compromised, then comes the real dangers of these materials, wastes will degrade the ecosystem capability of ecosystem to sustain life itself. That is where even that environment, it incapacitates environment to sustain life. And when that happens, life is in danger. Whether it is human life, we only think of human life, but life is not only human life. Life is, there are lakhs of life forms. Only it's not human life. It can be animal life, it can be fish life, it can be plant life, it can be insect life, it can be bacterial life, it can be algae life. Like, it threatens the existence of life, and it becomes very difficult. And friends, majority of the times we only think of big life forms, but when even a miniature life form is threatened, the compounding effects, cumulative effects of that life can be unimaginable. Today, COVID, even it is not bacteria. He don't have cell wall. He don't have any other systems. It is simple RNA covered by a protein coat. And it had brought human on his knee. The total RNA of world that has threatened today, if you measure, it is not even 1 gram. Not even 1 gram of RNA on this earth has brought this big, human who was all pervasive, human on his knees. So that is the power of life and nature. Okay, we need to be humble. We need to understand. We need to respect. Now, with this background, are we aware? Especially Bangalore, we think we are highly enlightened, educated, informed, socially active citizens. Even if I take whole country as one unit, Bangalore has its own place where Bangalorean definitely is a very intelligent, very informed, very progressive human being compared to many other citizens of state. So with that, with that real consciousness, I am saying this word. Now, if average Bangalorean today, if I ask, what is, like when I mentioned, sewage, effluent, hazardous chemicals, heavy metals, plastic, today biomedical, so these are different things we have given to nature. If we understand this, we have to manage them. Are we aware what is the extent of these things? You ask any Bangalore citizens, now kudiya neeru, drinking water, Kaveri phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, I don't know how many phase. Everybody is talking of how much water we are getting. Are anybody are even trying to understand, once we use that water, it becomes sewage. Where is that sewage going? How much sewage is generated? ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡೋವರೆಗೂ ನೀರು, ಬಿಸಿನೀರು ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕು. ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ನೀರು ಎಲ್ಲೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವ? No, we don't. So it's very unfortunate, because somewhere we have forgot, or we are not informed. Okay, we are not educated to think in these lines, that what is the extent of these different kinds of waste that we are generating. Friends, simply thumb rule, because I will give some stats, but then I just want to give thumb rule stats so that we all it can go really understand. 80% of water will become sewage. How come ಇವತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನಾಳೆ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆ 80% of water that we Bangalore get, immediately next day 80% of this becomes sewage. Now, the more and more we are getting water, okay, the more and more we are generating sewage. How much anta? Now, Karnataka population, let's another 6 koti jana idare, we are 6 crore people. Every day we generate 3,300 million liters per day of sewage. When I say state statistics, Bangalorean can simply understand 50% of state is Bangalore. Okay, that is the thumb rule. You need not have any other figure. Okay, so 3,000 MLD sewage is generated. What is our capacity to treat? It is 2,000 MLD per day. Actually, how much? Because then a lot of sewage treatment plants, if there are 2-3 terms. One is capacity, and one is performance. Installed capacity may be something, but because of power from repair kind of a thing, actually what we are operating is hardly 50% of what is our capacity. It's like we say 100 years is our lifetime, but generally the average lifetime is 50 years. So similarly, though we all think of installed capacity, how much we are spending money to install, how much capacity kind of a thing. So today in Karnataka, 6 crore population, 3,000 million liters every day we generate. We hardly treat 1,300 million liters. That means 30% of 3,000 we are only treating every day. Then 60%, I'm talking every day, not months and years. Okay, every day some 2,000 million liters of sewage. Where it is going? It is going to your neighbor Nala. From there it is going to your Rajkalve. From there it is going to Kaveri, your Arkavati, Rishabhavati. So today those are not rivers, they are sewers. Okay. This is as far as sewage is concerned. Okay. Then Bangalore is an industrial city. And then here in Bangalore, in our pollution control board net, consent net, there are our 1 lakh industries. Out of that, 50,000 is white and green industries, which don't pollute majorly. Other 50,000 industries are polluting industries. Still, we don't have cumulative data of like sewage, how much effluent we really generate. But then, as a thumb rule, we say today, if I take that number, only 3,000 industries have self ETPs, we call effluent treatment plants. And there are some 10 common effluent treatment plants. So each CETP can take, we can take some 100. So 10 into 100, some 1,000 industries are going to CETP. Another some 3,000 have the in-house ETPs. So hardly some 5,000 industries are, you can say that yeah, something they are treating kind of a thing. Then remaining industries, where they are going? Are we aware that the effluent those generate, okay, where it is going? No. Okay. This is of effluent. Then third important waste is solid waste. Every day our kitchen waste, kind of a thing that we generate. You know how much we generate? Whole state generate 12,000 metric ton per day. Out of 12,000 metric tons, our collection capacity itself is 9,000 tons, million tons per day. That means 3,000 tons we are not able to collect, which is scattered. Out of 9,000 million tons per day we collect. What is our capacity to treat? 5,000 tons. That means hardly 40% of solid waste that we generate every day we are able to treat. Remaining, where it is going? It is scattered in the streets, roads. That is our, and imagine if this is the rate at which we are going, and every day it gets accumulated. Nature has some capacity to absorb, decompose, decay. Yes, I told you. But then when it goes beyond, nature gives up. That results into dangerous bacteria, virus, harming diseases, health hazards. I'm not talking of air pollution. I'm just still there in water pollution. How many Bangalore people are suffering from, these diseases of especially respiratory diseases. So, today COVID has come from China, but the way civilized world is handling their life, it's no wonder this kind of virus can generate everywhere, here and there, and then they can really threaten us. Okay. Now, the board and state pollution boards and central pollution boards, our mainly try to evaluate kind of a thing. They have identified in Karnataka 17 rivers stretches as polluted river stretches, because generally we, at the end of the day, even there is some waste, from house it gets into Nala, from there it gets into Rajkalve, from there it gets down to Nadi. We think when it goes to river, I think river is Ganga Mate, Ganga elru papanu ತೊಳಿತಾಳೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಬಿಲೀಫ್. Okay, when it goes to river, we think nam papa ella ತೊಳೆದೋಯ್ತು nadi, she will take care anta. But then even Ganga Mata also ಕೈ ಎತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಈಗ. Okay, we have identified, we have seen there are 17 polluted river stretches in Karnataka, where every month we keep monitoring the pollution parameters, and these are declared as pollution stretches, okay, either of sewage or effluent. And every day to those 17 places, 800 million liters per day of sewage and effluent is going, and government is trying to reduce this intake into river. And today our capacity is only to treat up to 600 million liters of that sewage pollutant that is going into those river water stretches. That means again there also our balance is 200. I told you, solid waste is around 12,000 million tons per day, and the thumb rule is 6% of that is plastic waste. Okay, so 100 some 7,000 7,000 this everyday plastic. 6% of solid waste which we generate every day is plastic waste. So this is the magnitude of the issue when it comes to sewage, effluent, solid waste, plastic waste, and the condition of our river waters. Now, if this issue is so big, okay, how are we prepared to address this so that our lives and livelihoods are safe? Now, so that is where the Pollution Control Board really comes into picture. But then again here there are two things. One is regulator and one is polluter. Okay, now Pollution Control Board by its mandate has established a network of laboratories, pollution monitoring parameters to collect data, and it's a watchdog. In Bangalore today, we have for air quality 7 air quality monitoring stations, kind of a thing. Continuously we generate data, and then we convey to public that this is the air quality. And when it comes to pollution reverse kind of a thing, every periodically we collect water samples and then say this is so bad we are, and we keep telling the polluter. Now again, when it comes to polluter here, we also have to admit that public in general, the urban local bodies that that manage our domestic things, they plays very important role. Unfortunately, I think that is where after I became member secretary here, in one day, even if I or anybody, even Devar Anukondru, in one day you will not be able to solve this problem. But then, as the primary mandate of the board, it is to ring the warning bell that ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಗ ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, that is the major responsibility of the board. And I don't all these days maybe we were publishing some newspapers and then we were issuing some notices to some factories, kind of a thing. But I don't believe that that is going to take us very far unless these issues become a issue of public debate, issue of public discourse, issue of ಕಾಮನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಫೋನ್ ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಕೇಸಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ total discharge kind of a thing. We see why, because we are concerned. Okay, and when the number is less, we feel more confident. Oh, I'm safe. Okay, now these pollution things should become mane matu. Correct. It should become every man's starts. If you are sitting in your house, then you should tell that the air that you are breathing has so much of carbon dioxide, so much of nitrous, so much of sulfur. Okay, that means the air I am breathing is pure. You should know this. And if there is any parameter that is gone beyond this one, right, immediately right, you should concern yen aagta ide illi. Correct. Then immediately if there is some parameter is increased, illa pakkadalli factory ide alleno aagta irbeku, adikke ನಾನು ಸೇವಿಸೋ ಗಾಳಿ, the air I am breathing is getting bad. Immediately it should become public outcry. And absolutely, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, if they are not they are not supporting my life, bloody, then there is no value for money. Absolutely, there is no value for your consumerism. Correct. There is no value for your high values of high moral values also. There is nothing left for life. True. There is nothing left for livelihoods. So essentially that is why I am trying to bring in these issues to the common man, either through webinars or through we have some plans. Maybe when question answers come, I'll keep right. I'll right. to address them. Actually we have that. Yeah. So I think this is the basic platform I wanted to build, wherein the only one point, maybe one I will put one more word, because I think if you see, I think a lot of people here, I think they are well educated, and then I have very high hopes on this interaction. If you think of pollution instead, there are two major things. One is industry and one is ULBs or government itself. Maybe let me put in this one. Okay, BBMP is what? Government. BWC says is government. Urban local body is what? Government. Okay, so there are two things. One is industry and another is government. Yeah, in all due respect, okay, sometimes industry gets the bad bad man image. Okay, right. But I don't. Okay, it's not actually really. Out of, if you get 100 points, maybe 20 point is for industry, because that is the extent. Another 80 point is other government bodies, whether it is BBMP, BDA, urban local bodies. So we have 279 urban local bodies. Now today, unfortunately, the public demand with these organizations is also what? They want road. They want electricity. Electricity beda anta helta illa, but their major demand is for infrastructure. Maybe you go to urban local body in some Gulbarga, Raichur kind of a thing, yen bekappa nam first road beku. ಆ ಊರಿಗೆ ರೋಡ್ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ ಗಾಡಿ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಮಾತು, ಗಾಡಿನೂ ಇರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ರೋಡ್ಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸಿ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಶುಡ್ ಸಿ even when you go to God, what you plead, God will sanction. ನೀನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಕುಂಭಕರ್ಣ 1000 ವರ್ಷ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದೇವ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಗ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ತಪಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ, ದೇವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋದಾಗ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸರ್. So similarly, when people, when they go to ULBs and then when go to leaders, they should go this informed. They should ask what is good for their life and life system, instead of these basic infrastructure things that consume it. Okay, I think I have taken much time to build up this. Thank you so much. Actually, there are so many questions. Central to today's discussion and conversation is how the civic society members and organizations like Rotary can actually participate
even more vigorously in terms of arresting this kind of pollution and abuse of our environment. So kindly let us know. So, sir, one thing, our Srishti Samudaya episodes, at the end of each episode, we try to do our own little roadmap, and we enter into MOUs, we make our own action plan, and we want something solid to come out of it, something tangible, which will eventually make a difference to the people. So on that humble note, I would like to ask you how Rotary can partner with CASE, Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, and do something to the rest of the community.
No, absolutely. That is why I'm here today.
Right.
See, that, I was telling you, see, these civic societies should understand what is the need of the hour. Rotary, if you ask me, Rotary and the Takshana again Barutandre Modi camp, Modi I camp. See, because when I was a student, Rotary and Takshana Modi I camp.
Lions I camp actually, but nonetheless, adu namtarade organization.
So that was the need of the hour, Vanamahotsava kind of a thing. But like now today Rotary, what I'm telling, these pollution parameter indices and then issues, you should consolidate into stats that easily people can understand, and run a campaign like thing. This is how bad your air is, this is how bad is your water is, and you also should study. See, though I'm being a part of government, I want to be scrutinized. Okay, Rotary organizations, SASTA organizations should study government programs. Today, if BBMP or I'm doing, out of your 100 rupees, how much you are spending on your agenda number 1? How much money you are spending on your agenda number 10? Today, if you go and ask BBMP or anybody, you ask him what is your agenda number 1? Definitely they'll tell waste management. Then you ask, if your agenda management is waste management, how much money you are earmarking that? Okay, today you'll be surprised. Unfortunately, environment, forest, everybody gives lip service. Okay, even today in government, the hardly not even 1% of budget is earmarked for environment. Take it from me.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. So we have, we have many questions. I don't think we will have enough time to answer them. So I have a request. We will list down all these questions and come back, share it with you, and you can please give us the answer, and then we will share it in turn with them back. So many questions that have come up in the chat box. There was someone who wanted to know how to manage the e-waste and what are the various do's and don'ts of the e-waste. I think, was it from Shilpa Narayan, if my memory serves right? Yeah.
I think specifics will go like 21st century with e kind of a thing. There is a lot of e-waste, and today I'm at least happy that there are some nice organizations. E-waste has to be managed by 2-3 means. One is recycling is a big mechanism by which this waste can be managed. Otherwise, I'll tell you, I'm telling you here, e-waste, if it is not managed properly, it becomes hazardous waste. The components that are used in electronic goods, okay, starting from mercury, okay, they are very, very hazardous chemicals. Okay, and if they get into our water bodies, it's very dangerous. So at least, of course, it is a recent phenomenon. I think now we are already getting enlightened or educated about that. So it's not too late. So now e-waste, especially, there are a lot of recyclers. There are a lot of people who take out and then separate, hazardous things and then put it to incinerator, and then other components are made into then assembled products. That kind of a thing. I think I can give a detailed note who are those people, organizations. Right. And if anybody wants to come here also, there is big opportunity available, because there are not many players in the area. There is so much of demand, e-waste generated. Very few people who can do this. So there is an opportunity window for somebody to come and as a business model also, and as a social cause also.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. We have another question. Sunil Sadev says, most of our policies are based upon today's requirement, be it pollution control or any other infrastructure need. What are we doing to forward plan to control pollution in consideration of infra and technological developments in the next 20, 30 years? So basically he's saying we are just, we're going after today's problems. Why can't we anticipate what will happen in the next 2 or 3 decades and address it? And I think that's the elephant in the room.
No, it's not like that. See, when I told you today, our sewage generation is 3,000. I know that for 2030, it is becoming 4,500. That forecast kind of a thing. But today I did not tell those forecasts because when present stats itself is alarming. Okay. When present stats itself is alarming, I did not wanted to, again scare or, make a big kind of a thing by projecting future this one. Otherwise, yeah, I think board is very well aware that, all these stats which I told, these are forecasted for 2030 also. That number is still, alarming. And that is where, NGT, that is where Supreme Court, in fact, at least I should, we should thank here, NGT kind of a thing, which is really putting chatty to both Pollution Control Board as well as to government agencies, civic agencies, that unless you, abide by your roadmap kind of a thing, and heavy penalties will be levied. But then see, court and regulatory bodies is one picture. But then I know that even Swatantra Bandiddu, some 10-15 big leaders, when they were fighting, we did not get freedom. Only we got freedom when it became a mass movement. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ರು ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದಾಗಲೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು. Otherwise, even before we had even tall leaders. Okay, so that is where today, if you want to address this issue and get some, we all it should become public debate.
Sir,
and the Rotary kind of organizations, I strongly believe that if they mind, they can take it to masses.